No, you see, it's not. Copium says, yeah, but dumpstering trolls is fun from time to time. No, it's not. Listen, I have nothing to prove. All right? I don't. I've already won. I'm the one whose life is getting to play video games and hang out with an audience all day on the internet. That's my job. I've already beaten the trolls. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And Phil believes that he's so special that not only is he going to garner your respect, but he's also going to garner your pity. And not one after the other, but simultaneously, not understanding that that is something that societies typically reserve for certain groups of people. Our elderly, somebody who had a mishap and may have lost an arm or a leg, right? You respect them as a person, but you also pity what happened to them. Like, wow, that's messed up. But that's something that is seldom given out to an able-bodied adult who has everything they need to change their situation, but chooses not to. So let's get into it.
I have no idea, Andrew. I don't pay attention to them. You're asking the wrong person. I don't pay any attention to my detractors. All I know is people who come on here and say stuff about them. I don't watch their content. I don't give a shit. I'll guarantee you this. It's been a week now since the Asmongold interview, correct? I've gotten tremendous extra viewership on my streams. As you can see, if you just take a look at the views right now, I'm pretty much double what I was getting. Like, no exaggeration. I'm about double the viewership that I had before Asmongold, for sure.
I wouldn't quite say double. We know Phil likes to exaggerate a little bit to feel better about what's really going on. But I will say he has seen a little bit of a boost, but not enough that's worth talking about.
Okay. Support has been great, has it not? Every stream I'm doing incredibly well. Okay. Couldn't be happier. I haven't asked for a single contribution since I got off the stream with Asmongold.
You see his face. You see his body language. You see how he wants a cookie for that. Like that's somehow something he should be given an award for, when that's something that you should be doing anyway. Phil, you don't get extra credit or credit at all for the things that you're supposed to do. Nobody's going to give you an extra round of applause for that, even though it's something that needed to change in your content. But it was crazy about this whole situation to me is the things that the Asmongold viewers and Asmongold himself got on you about. It's the same thing that detractors have gotten on you about for the better part of 10 years. But you don't want to hear from us though, right? But it's the same thing. Now all of a sudden, you're not begging. This is akin to somebody showing up to work who usually shows up late, and they finally start coming on time, and they want the boss to look at them and get them an Employee of the Month award or something. Let's get out of here, man.
So it's been a week, right? So what exactly do you think they're talking about? Do you think if they're saying something that they're talking about reality? Or do you think that they're just talking about their useless, nonsensical memes, their garbage content that completely lies, over-exaggerates? Because in their minds, as I explained to Asmongold, whenever I do something to improve myself, they just move the goalpost to the next thing. So if it's not that my content sucks and I don't have the best quality content, I'm a dinosaur, I'm behind the times. If it's not that I rage too much, I blame the game developers, all of that. If it's not that I'm playing mobile games and spending all my money on WWE champions. If it's not that, oh, well, now he just sits around and begs all day. So what's the next thing?
Phil, it's not one particular thing in and of itself. Like people are on this and then they move to the next thing, then they move to the next. No, it's all those things all the time, Phil. It's a compilation of those things coming together into one person, which repulses other people, Phil. That's what's really going on.
Because you know there's a next thing. There will never not be a next thing. That's how they are. But for me, I don't care. I'm already on to my better life for a whole week now. I don't have to worry about anything. I just chill with you guys and have a great time every day, and I'm happy. So why do I give a crap what they're doing to cope for the fact that now I have changed for the better, and all the things that they have said are bullshit?
You hear how he said change for the better, as if he used that money that he got from this whole Asmongold boost to get a therapist to help with his gambling addiction, allegedly, right? How did you change for the better? Last time I checked, your content is still the same. The only thing that happened was a light was shined on something that typically does not have a bright light shined on it, so therefore more people can see it. That's it. But you're acting like you put out some dope video or had some dope stream, and on a humbug, people heard about it and it's popped up on you. Like, wow, Phil really changed for the better. That did not happen.
And there's nothing else for them to really have a gripe with. That there's 5 million other people out there that are far worse than me, that are doing things right now that they should not agree with, yet they're still making content about me, right?
Okay, Phil. So because somebody robbed the bank, the person that went into the store and stole, robbed the corner store, nothing should happen to them. Phil, there's varying degrees to all things. Furthermore, the detractor space and or community is not a police force. It's not our job to go around and police everything that everybody's doing. All right. People get paid good money to do that already. So what are you talking about?
Right? Like, why would I care? Let them make their content, and I don't care at all about what they say and do.
But you do care, Phil, and I'm gonna tell you why you care. Because your Kick Chat and your YouTube stream has plenty of people in there asking you questions, talking about different topics, but you chose to pick out that comment because you care. You could have completely ignored it. It wasn't like there was an overflow of people asking you about that. That wasn't happening at all. This is something that you sought out and then zeroed in on. And now we have this segment about something you claim you don't care about. My goodness.
That's it. Don't give a shit. None of their criticisms are valid, so why do I give a shit? You guys, if you want to criticize me and say, hey, let's improve this way or that way, I'll listen to you. I ain't going to listen to these people who they benefit by saying that I'm bad in some way. Because then what's their benefit to ever having me improve? There is none. They want me to be this joke so they can make money, right? Make their videos. So I don't listen to their crap. I don't give a shit.
You know what's crazy about this? The things that the Asmongold tourists, or what he believes to be the Asmongold tourists, are telling him is the same thing that the detractors have been telling you for the better part of 10 years. Phil, the message did not change. The only thing that changed was the messenger. Now all of a sudden your ears work. This is something people have been telling you for the longest time. And who's really going to get anything out of this? The detractors? No, you're the only one that would gain or benefit from acting like a better person on stream. So what are you what are you talking about?
And if you don't want me to ever talk about them again, don't ever ask about them, and I won't talk about them again. Because you notice I don't unless you guys ask me. So if you don't want to talk about it, don't ask me about it.
So it's your fault that he lacks the impulse control to just completely ignore something that's in his chat. Now, he claims to be a positive so-called chill streamer, and I'm sure is positive, a bunch of positive and so-called chill things in the chat that he could have drawn from, but he picked that.
I've stayed away from doing user interactive content simply because my trolls are so bad they ruin it. I'll give you an example because, again, you guys probably would not know this. Way back in the day, we're talking.
Now, did you see what Phil said in his body language initially? He said, this is way back in the day, and you people probably don't know this. What he was really saying is, I know you don't want to hear this shit, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So even he can pick up on that he is looping far too much. I mean, Phil, you loop a lot, but this week there has been a big increase in your looping. And a lot of that is because he fills a lot of time and space with the begging. And since that has been removed, now he has to try to figure out how he's going to otherwise fill this space. And he just can't think of anything because he has nothing interesting going on in his life that's worth talking about. So he loops about the same things over and over again, or you get these history lessons or his version of a history lesson.
Talking 10 years ago, every single year in December, actually, it was around this time of year, I would actually do what I called the fan appreciation series. All right. For about 2 weeks, I would do almost nonstop multiplayer lobbies, fan interactive events, and just generally fun stuff with my audience. So, play some Battlefield together with a party that we all coordinate, play some Call of Duty, play some Assassin's Creed multiplayer, play some fighting games, right? That kind of stuff. And it worked. It was great. For many years, we had a great time with it. And particularly, I remember when it finally fell apart. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 5 had a multiplayer mode, and I made the lobby, and half the lobby was trolls. So because of that, sadly, the people who actually wanted to play and had scheduled time in their schedules, logistically, keep in mind, I have an international viewer base. It's not like everyone's American and we're all here on the same times. Like, I had to figure out streaming times around when people would be there, when they could. I had slots set up, people showing up. You can play now, you can play now. We figured it all out, and we go to play it. The trolls completely ruin it for everyone. They're giving away position. They're teabagging. They're shooting guns wildly into the air, basically making it unplayable. Now imagine you're a fan of mine. You've been waiting years to be able to play with me. It finally gets coordinated. You go to play. The entire thing's ruined by trolls.
No, okay. If that happened, that happened. But the key component here is look how far back he had to go to give you an example. What you should have asked him was, have you tried it recently? Because there's all type of things in place now because gaming and streaming has merged to a certain degree. So they created tools and features where you can have a lobby key and a bunch of different other things that you can do to secure a lobby. So only the people you want in there will be in there. Now you see this all the time with other streamers, but what Phil's going to do is make you feel like what you're asking is impossible and then blame the detractors when really it's just he's lazy. So if you knew Asmongold Taurus or whatever you want to call it, this is what you're going to get. Excuses for the things that you're asking for, no matter how big or small. He's going to tell you he cannot do it because he's not interested in your entertainment, man. He's just not.
How would you feel? Shitty, right? So after that, and again, it wasn't just that, it was every game. It ended up being Battlefield, it ended up being Call of Duty. They ruined all of them. And I said, there's no point in doing it anymore. I don't want to give them the opportunity to basically ruin what's supposed to be a positive event for my viewers who like me. So I just stopped doing the events. And instead, I kind of stayed to myself doing single-player content. If I do multiplayer content, I'm just a random that drops into a lobby, plays, and drops out. I've found workarounds to stop the trolling as long as I don't do certain kinds of stuff.
Who said that you had to monetize it, Phil? Why can't you just hold these lobbies off stream altogether? And it's just something that you do with your core audience, right? You love chill, fun streams, right? So that would be, what would be better than the scenario that I just laid out? And I'm sure they will love that too. See, you just keep making excuses because in your mind, if you can't draw $1 from it, then naturally it's a waste of time. All this other shit about chill streams and all that stuff, that's him being a salesman, man. And deep down, all he wants is your name on that damn contract so those payments will be coming in. That's it.
And even then, the times that I have attempted to do it, so for example, with Street Fighter, because you're even saying something like, would you play a Street Fighter tournament with your viewers? I've done lobbies, like Street Fighter lobbies, where I say anyone can join, here's the lobby. 9 times out of 10, it's some idiot. Their name is something insulting to myself or my family members, or it's doxing, something awful. I play them, I kick their ass, and then what's the point? No one got anything out of that. They think that they got one up on me for having this messed up name on the screen. Even though I whooped their ass, they're like, haha, mission accomplished. And it's like, so what did I do it for? And by the way, typically they don't do well. Like when I do those lobbies, it's not like I get attention and people are liking the content. It's more like, wow, Phil's just beating up on scrubs. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Did you catch what he said? They typically don't do well. So the reason he's not going to play games with his fans is because you haven't given him enough money to do so. Even though you give him upwards of $150 per stream, that's still not enough. So stop asking, okay? There's 2 things that you can do about this already terrible situation. Then Asmongold Taurus, nothing and like it. Those are your options. Get used to it.
I whoop on them because they're not there to be good. They're there to get the attention for being there. You see, that's why I kind of just stopped doing that stuff. There was no point. I did it. I think it was a month of lobbies in Street Fighter 6 when the game was new. No one really liked it, and I stopped doing it, and that was the end of it. No, you see, it's not. Copium says, yeah, but dumpstering trolls is fun from time to time. No, it's not. Listen, I have nothing to prove. All right? I don't. I've already won. I'm the one whose life is getting to play video games and hang out with an audience all day on the internet. That's my job. I've already beaten the trolls.
You've only beaten the trolls if you assume that sitting around playing video games for a living is something that everybody looks at as a dream job, and they don't, Phil. I mean, I hate to break it to you. I know a lot of people probably think that, but that's not true. Not everybody want to sit around playing video games for a living. They just don't. Some people look at it as leisure. Some people barely touch it. It's some people that's listening to this right now that probably own an Xbox, haven't played a game on it in months, or a PlayStation and probably haven't played a game on it in months. You know, they just use it for apps or whatever. So that's your dream, allegedly. But you have no idea what other people's dreams are. That's just you projecting, as usual.
The fact that they need to like do fucked up things to try to take stabs at me because they're so jealous and pissed off that I'm successful, I've already won. So I don't need to also defeat them in a game. There's no point. I don't get any self-satisfaction out of beating them in a fighting game. I already know I'm better. I don't need to waste my time.
But it's not about the trolls, even though you keep making it about the trolls. It's about the people who actually want to play the game with you. And if you have to put up with a troll or two for the greater good, then so be it. It is what it is. You act like you're the only person that don't get stream sniped or people trying to troll them. I mean, look at some of these bigger guys. I'm sure that's something they deal with all the time. The difference is they don't sit around and complain about it. My goodness, man, you're not special.
Thank you to Raider Randy for $5. Do it anyway, even if there's trolls. Trolls can still be good content. Nah. No, you see, here's the thing. And this is where I differentiate myself from other people who have been categorized as lolcows, okay, and have done this kind of thing.
Now, I want y'all to pay very close attention to the things he's saying about other so-called lolcows. And you'll see that it's very obvious that he's actually talking shit about Wings of Redemption without saying his name. Just listen.
There are tons of people out there. They get harassed. They're categorized as lolcows, and they lean into the content. They lean into it. Laugh with the meme, play with the troll, give them what they want, keep the circus going. Hell, even self-deprecate yourself, embarrass yourself for money. As long as you're making a paycheck, it doesn't matter, right?
But Phil, what can be more embarrassing than begging every single day? You yourself are admitting that I have nothing of value to offer the marketplace at all. So I'm going to reduce myself to begging people to give me money, even though I don't have anything to give them. That's what's going on here. So in one hand, you want us to pity you, but on the other hand, you also want our respect. And it's like, what's really going on? Because if you was walking into a gas station right now and somebody walked up to you and was like, man, let me get $5, let me get this. Look, you might throw them a couple bucks, but the first thing you're going to do is turn to your son or daughter or little cousin and say, look, this is why you stay in school. This is why you don't do drugs, so you don't end up like that person, right? Phil, that's the category that you're in.
There's a saying that I started saying last year in regards to this mentality, okay? Once you put the clown makeup on, it never washes off. What does that mean? It means that once you lower yourself to the level of being a lolcow and you accept it, and now this becomes your reality, your persona, this is you on the internet, so just lean into it, you can't ever go back. Now, you have to do lolcow content or else you can never get success ever again.
Now, who does it sound like he's talking about? Didn't Wings go to lolcow Live, quit a couple times and or got fired a couple times, whatever, came back, thought Battlefield was going to revitalize his career, his channel. It didn't happen, even though we all knew it wasn't going to happen. Now here he is, every now and then, moonlighting on Phil's Level 1 podcast. And Phil thinks because he's hosting you on his show, or he was looking to, that you are beneath him to the point where he can sneak dish you, and he still believes that you're going to honor your end of the deal. Now, if I'm Wings, I want nothing to do with Phil after this point, because Phil thinks he's slick. We know what he's getting at and who he's talking about, but because he didn't say anything specifically or say a name, he can maintain deniability.
You might have once been known as someone who made news reports, vlogging, gameplay, chill streams. But the moment that you become this monetized the lolcow status, that is all you will ever be for the rest of your life, and you have to accept it or quit. There's people who are learning that the hard way right now.
You see that? You see that? He talking about his boy, man. I don't care what nobody say. That's what my brain is telling me. Phil is sitting up here high and mighty thinking because he linked up with Asmongold that he somehow skyrocketed past the traditional lolcow. You see, and this is why every now and then it's okay for him to get a little bit of a bump, because what happens is it's the countdown until the mask slips. And Phil has been trying like hell to keep it on, and it's really, really bothering him because he generally uses this room and those cameras and those lights for a therapy session, and he hasn't been able to get him in as frequently as he's accustomed to, and it's fucking with him.
And it's sad because I feel bad for these people who maybe got into something they didn't realize they were getting into, and now they're stuck. And they try so hard and they don't know what's going on. Like, well, you think about it. You entertained the trolls. You gave them what they wanted. You took their money, you took their attention, but now that's all you'll ever get for the rest of your life. For me, I've been the one who staunchly fights against it. I don't care what you call me. I'm still going to be legit. I'm still going to make positive content that my viewers are going to be entertained by and support. Therefore, you can call me whatever you want and you can make up the slander and the memes or whatever. I'm not going to buy into your garbage.
So legit to Phil is ignoring the obvious. The least you can say about Boogie and Wings that they're reflective enough to actually realize what they are, or why else would they be on lolcow Live? Phil is still gaslighting himself into believing that he's not a lolcow because he said it. Now, if we all could just walk around and say and proclaim what we are with no pushback, wouldn't that be a beautiful world to live in? But this is what happens when you start flooding people with money who don't deserve it. And it just is what it is. But he doesn't understand that these people are not giving you money because they're genuinely interested in your resurgence or your comeback or whatever you want to call this arc, right? It's really pity bucks, Phil, because they feel sorry for you. That's it. But eventually, like any man who's laying on your couch, a grown ass man with no job, yeah, sure, maybe you let him stay for a week or maybe even a month or two. But eventually, you're going to like, look, bro, you need to get a job, man. You need to start carrying your own weight, because people are not going to give an able-bodied man pity indefinitely. Will not happen.
I'm going to be successful on my own means by making content that doesn't hurt others or leave toxicity and garbage and just this slop on the internet. Instead, my playthroughs are still going to be there for years to come. So if someone wants to see Heavy Rain from 2010, they can see it. If someone wants to see me play Arc Raiders from 2025, they can still see it. And that gameplay is legit. It's meaningful. It's not harmful. And it's a fun experience to watch no matter when you watch it.
See, but none of those things are objective. All those things are subjective and abstract. Those are not things that we can weigh or measure. That's just something that you're applying to it to give it perceived value with the hopes that people will watch it. But what's crazy about that, as you just said not too long ago, that people cannot find your content. Now you're listing all the things that they can find of your content, Phil. This is why it's so important for you to stop talking. You're not smart enough to speak as much as you do, Phil. It's just the truth, man. You should not have these many podcasts, this many chill sessions, because your life is uneventful. Maybe if you went out more and gained and gathered more experiences, then maybe you would actually have something to talk about. But you're forgoing gameplay to talk about nothing. And it's crazy.
It's not just pertinent to the moment where I decided to cash in on a lolcow joke. Instead, it's actual good content. You see, you can look at my body of work for 17 years, and you can argue that early on I was kind of extreme with the way that I did commentary, sure. But you'd be really hard pressed to look at my content and be like, Phil made toxic, harmful content to the internet to get over. He stepped on people to get where he was. He did horrible things to himself and others. No, I never did.
Now you see how he had to give a specific example of what he means by being toxic or harmful, because he'll explain away the things that people generally talk about, but he wants you to hyper focus on the fact that he didn't try to step on anybody. Then what happened when you reacted to review text Junior King, Dr. Miner with Kino Casino? Now, it would have been one thing If you stood on your own and you reacted to it, that would have been something different. But you chose to gang up on him. So I'm not understanding what you mean by step on somebody, because that's a prime example of it, Phil.
I stepped away from that. I avoided it. I said, I refuse. So that's the difference between me and these other people. Maybe these other people would think, well, the only way I can get money or attention is to do the lobby and have a bunch of trolls in it. I'm not going to do the lobby. Fuck the trolls. I'm not going to give them anything. They don't deserve it. They didn't do shit for me. So why am I going to do them a solid or a favor? You know what I mean? I could have capitalized and tried to bank, but then I would be the joke forever. I don't want to be the joke. I want to be a serious creator like I've always worked hard to do. 17 years, over 68,000 videos. That's my legacy. Not the dunce content some mouth-drooling morons made to capitalize on the algorithm, make a buck on my back by lying about me. That's not meaningful content. That's the slop that melts brains, and the people who watch it are dumb as fuck. Okay? Me, I'm going to make meaningful content that people can come back and like no matter what. Maybe actually enjoy games and have a good time. All right? That's who I aspire to be.
That's who you aspire to be at almost 50 years old. When you hear people talking about what they aspire to be, that's typically somebody that's in their 20s who's still trying to figure it out, and you know, the road is kind of uncertain still, right? But by the time you get into around Phil's age, you should be firmly cemented in who you are. But he's so insecure. He's so worried about text on a screen. It bothers him so much. And you can sit here all day and act like it doesn't bother you. But what is this? Phil, the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. And the reason why that is because when you love something, you think about it. When you hate something, you think about it. But if you're indifferent to it, it doesn't even cross your mind because you actually don't care. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.